never got no cryptid action. He doesn't know if those stories got traction. But tonight our boy Steven is about to learn. Popping that cherry, it's gonna be his turn. Cause we're popping that cherry, that Cryptid Cherry. Steven's about to learn about all things hairy. We're popping that cherry, that Cryptid Cherry. Bigfoot Dogman, hoping it ain't too scary. There's a first time for everything. Donny and Randy teaching about that hairy thing. Steven's cryptid radar will no longer be off. Time for him to drop those pants, turn his head and cough. Cause we're popping that cherry, that Cryptid Cherry. Steven's about to learn about all things hairy. We're popping that cherry, that Cryptid Cherry. Bigfoot Dogman, hoping it ain't too scary. If you're new to this, bend over and open wide. Don't you worry, you most likely will not die. Get ready for this, hope you don't go mental. Donny and Randy will be sure to go gentle.
Oh shit, and we're live, gentlemen. Holy shit.
Yo, it's really bad. I want cherries now.
What'd you guys think of my theme song?
Well, I'm Steven, I'm sorry, because you don't look nothing like what I saw.
That was the best theme song yet. Absolutely.
You don't look like that? I think, well, let's see. This one definitely looks like Steven.
Is that supposed to be me doing the
That's supposed to be you, but I didn't expect AI to put that mask over your face like that. But don't worry, we got you here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's kind of
so okay.
There.
Welcome to another fine edition of Donnie Cho Says Stuff, hosted by yours truly, Donnie Cho. And tonight I am joined by two very special gentlemen. One, Randy Gilbert, and you all know him from Truth or Tinfoil, where they like to, if I could just speak for your channel, Randy, you like to put up photos and the occasional video clip of purported paranormal and sometimes cryptid activity. And you and Brandy like to review the veracity of the photos, whether or not you think they are genuine or they're hoax or they're the product of some kind of weird photographic artifact. And that is kind of the basis of your channel. And also on Wednesdays, you are one of my co-hosts because I have two co-hosts for the show known as Paranormal Show and Tell with Brandy on the Blondes and Booze Network, where we, every week we pick different topics about the paranormal. Right?
Yeah.
And we go from there.
Yeah.
So Randy and I are pretty deep in the paranormal cryptid world.
Yeah, pretty much.
We know a bunch of people. We're kind of like, I don't know, if I could be so bold as to say about us, if I could just speak for you and I.
Yeah.
We're a bit of a, let's just say, commodity in the paranormal cryptid world. We're like famous and shit.
We have what? Amongst our 35 followers apiece.
Whenever someone talks shit to me, I'm like, fuck you, I'm famous, bitch. In the cryptid world.
I got a show. I got two shows.
I did a conference once and like half the people there recognized me. So suck it.
And off topic a little bit, I did a short film judging thing in Mineola one time for this guy that I know out there. He runs the theater and everything. And we went through these short films, and I was one of the judges. I got out there, and 3/4 of the people that were out there in the audience recognized me from the show.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Fuck
why
yeah.
aren't y'all subbed in? Why aren't y'all subbed? I don't get this. Why are y'all not subbed in?
Anyway, Mickey says, I'm thinking about doing a show once a week. You should, Mickey. I think you've got a good voice for it. You know, she speaks well. Like you always do well.
Well, if I have to replace Brandy, you're on.
Yeah. I think Mickey's a good talker. I'm always because I can
Yeah, she is.
as a good talker myself. Game recognizes game. You know what I mean, gentlemen?
Hang on, I got
All
to
right.
step up. Yeah, okay. You
Anyway,
got
so enough of us. Tonight I would like to hear oh, sorry. I just said here because I was reading Shelley's comment and saying I'd like to hear all right now just because. Yeah. I think she's talking about Mickey. Yeah, Mickey's got a good voice for it. Like she speaks well. She's eloquent. She's not like one of these yokels that are just like, I like also Bigfoot.
Hey,
I
hey,
can
hey,
barely
quit,
speak the
quit, quit
English
talking about
language.
my friends like that.
Yeah. It's fucking morons, man. They don't even know how to fucking speak English. And that's the only language they speak sometimes. Anyway, so enough about us. I would like to talk about our special guest. Tonight we're joined by my good friend, old
Yeah,
friend,
yeah.
Stephen Lewis, who is a good friend of mine outside of this whole paranormal cryptid business. He's one of my, let's say, real world friends outside of the
Yep.
internet. Actually, it's a pretty fucked up story how we became friends. We shall not tell it here.
Oh, come
We
on.
don't. We don't. We could tell you backstage. I'll tell you backstage, but it's a fucked up story.
What did he go to Korea and try to buy your sister or
No,
something? What's
no,
going
no.
on?
We'll tell
What?
you backstage. It's a funny but fucked up story.
I need a
Don't worry. Don't act all disappointed, Randy. You're going to be the one that hears it. The people in the chat should be disappointed.
Exactly. I'm trying to pimp y'all out. What you talk about?
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Steven is my real life friend.
I
We've
have
known
seen
each
that
other.
couch
We've known
at
each other for a
Donnie's.
number of years now, but he's got nothing to do with this paranormal cryptid shit because I have plenty of friends who have nothing to do with that, nor do they even give two shits about it. Like I'm sure Randy, you have friends like that too, right?
Yeah, Tex.
Yeah. Oh, she wants to hear about. She likes the sound of my voice. Oh yeah, they all do. That's how I do so well in life, gentlemen.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You
Anyway,
just gotta, you just gotta soft talk them sometimes.
Donnie's a great conversationalist.
Yeah. You should hear this speaking Korean, man. I was slaying it with the Korean ladies back in Korea.
you actually speak Korean?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard you speak it though.
What? I've
I don't think
spoken
I've
it
ever
before.
actually.
I've like spoken Korean words and shit.
Well, yeah, but that was when you were drunk and like jumping on other people's podcasts and stuff. So
I mean, Steven, you remember I was at your house and I'd be on the phone with like my parents or something. You'd hear me speaking Korean.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I have not a clue anything that's being spoken. No. Mm-mm.
if he said
Yeah.
Ajima, you know he's buying something. Okay.
Anyway, so I thought tonight would be a different kind of show, and I think Steven is the perfect guest because you, Steven, you got nothing to do with this cryptid shit, right?
Not a thing.
Not a fucking thing. Actually, before we go any further, Steven, why don't you share with the audience how much you know or what you know about cryptid stuff or even paranormal stuff or whatever? Share with the people your background.
I know so little. So in the 80s, watching television, like, I don't know if it was Unsolved Mysteries or something else. They talked about the Bigfoot. I think even an episode where, he had climbed through a screen that he'd torn out and they had some hair or something. And I always kind of wondered about, well, if that was real and they had a sample, what would the DNA test say or something like that? I don't know, is Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the abominable snowman, are they all the same thing? Is Bigfoot something that is geographically confined to a certain area? Is this something worldwide? I've got questions about, when were sightings first recorded?
Mhm.
Are they consistent across, the world or through different cultures, that sort of thing? I don't know any of this stuff.
Let me ask you, Steven, is
Hmm.
there any part of you that thinks it all just might be bullshit?
I'm going to be open minded to it
Mhm.
because answering these questions would kind of maybe sway my opinion one way or the other. Because right now I'm just in neutral territory. Um,
So
you
you're
know,
50-50. It
yeah,
could
I
be
could I
real
could
or it
go
could
either
be
way with
total
it
bullshit.
because
Yeah.
there's stuff that we discover all the time that we didn't know about, and
So
it would
you
be,
would say you're agnostic?
yeah, and it would be interesting to figure out how this creature has existed for so long and we've never seen it or been able to prove it, come up with a body or something of that nature, to be able to, where does this thing live and how does it live and all of that, tranquilize it, put a tracking collar on it and follow it like they do with other animals.
How much time do you think you honestly would say you spent thinking about Bigfoot?
It's just one of those thoughts that drifts in and out. If you're on a
You've
long
definitely
trip.
I feel like you've definitely been thinking about it more since you became my friend.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah. Well, you watch my
I
show sometimes, so
I do, but the conversations I most enjoy are when we talk about paranormal stuff way more than the cryptid stuff.
so
Um,
that interests you more?
Absolutely, it does.
Hmm.
I've had more experiences with that and zero with cryptid. No experience whatsoever there.
I'm with him on that one, actually.
Okay,
I
let
like
me
the
ask you
paranormal.
this. If someone were to offer you to either go out on like a cryptid hunt in like a very active location with a lot of sightings, like with people and you got gear and you're out there hunting for like Bigfoot or whatever, or if you go to an actively haunted location and do a paranormal investigation, which one would do you think you would rather do?
I think that would depend entirely on what was being offered, one way or the other. Um, I've had a paranormal experience that affected me in a negative way, and watching ghost hunting shows and things of that nature, I've heard of people being attacked by ghosts, and
Do you want to,
um,
now that we got some people in here and they're listening, would you like to share with them that story?
sure, sure. So,
Are you cool with it?
absolutely,
All right, yeah. If you're down, I'm here to hear it.
it was a New Year's Day. It had snowed.
Around what year or what age were you at the time?
Uh, I'm gonna go with maybe 8, 9 years ago.
Oh, it's fairly
Um,
recent. I thought this was like something that happened to you as a kid or something.
no, this one
Oh.
happened actually not very far from where I live now. Um,
Hmm.
so at the time I was married, and we were at the in-laws' house. They have a graveyard in their backyard, but it's not a normal graveyard. It is what was believed to be slave graves.
Okay.
So there are impressions in the ground where coffins have collapsed.
Ooh,
All
Oh,
that
by the
stuff.
way, for anyone who's wondering, this is North Carolina, right?
Yes, yes. This
Okay.
is actually in Wake Forest, North Carolina.
Okay.
oh, okay, gotcha.
So we were back there walking around looking at the graves, and I had never done that before. Um, but because of the snow, it makes it a little easier to walk around because the snow kind of tramps down vines and whatnot. Um, this is what it is. We were back there looking at these graves, and some of the graves have markers made out of what appear to be limestone. And a house very near this area has, and their driveway is lined on both sides by these giant wheels made out of the
Hmm.
same material. They're like grinding, like millstones, is what they look like.
Okay.
Um, so these markers are much smaller than that, but these markers have circles on them and plus signs over the circles, where the plus sign is a little bit larger than the circle. Like they were trying to find center and make a perfect circle, but that marking is on the tombstone like they were cutting a wheel and this was scrap material or it didn't work out or whatever, but they made a headstone out of it. And at the time, I had an earlier cell phone. I took a photo of one of those headstones.
Okay.
And at the exact moment that I took that photo, my phone shut off.
Really?
It shut off dead.
And it was it like it wasn't low battery or anything either, right?
No, absolutely not. This phone was working perfectly.
Damn.
I am neurotic about keeping my phone charged. Like
Yeah.
I want people to get to 50%, I panic,
And your phone never does that, right?
Never had a moment's trouble with it. It cut off.
That's weird.
And I could not make it turn back on.
The moment you hit the shutter, it turned off?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. So, hanging out at the in-laws house, plug it in the charger. It won't turn back on. Get in the car, plug it into that charger. It won't turn back on. Ride home, plug it in at home. It will not turn back on. No matter
to this day, never did.
No, well, 24 hours, almost exactly 24 hours later, it turned back on.
Wow.
And the photo was on the phone.
Oh, wow. So you had the photo.
Yeah, it didn't appear like weird, like orbs or anything like that. It was just,
it's a photo.
It turned back on. So I transferred that photo and I saved it. This was very unusual for me because I knew kind of what was happening. I saved it as an icon on the desktop.
Oh,
directly.
Wow.
So I couldn't lose it, right?
Exactly.
I could not lose it because it was on the desktop. So, years go by and I had that laptop for a very long time. And I was telling Donnie about it and I wanted to show him the picture. Well, I got that laptop and started up and the icon's gone.
Gone?
The photo's gone.
The background is gone?
Yeah, well, I mean, I saved it,
as an
icon on the desktop.
Oh, you saved it as an icon. Oh, I thought you said you saved it as a background.
No,
okay.
and
he just saved it to his desktop essentially.
And it's gone. So what I would say is that I could go back there and get another photo, but I'm not going to because clearly whatever's there doesn't want me to have it. It didn't appreciate me taking that photo.
Didn't sound like it, yeah.
Gave me more, and I wasn't aware at the time, and I've since learned. They talk about the Annabelle doll, the real one, and you have to ask permission to take its photo, or it's going to do something bad to you.
Well, that's Robert. That's Robert down in Florida too.
I'm far more concerned about that than I am about meeting a flesh and blood creature. Because the best of my knowledge, I liken it something like a bear because. We've all seen the old, the original footage of some first time someone got it on camera walking around. Yeah. I'm not I'm sure that could hurt you, but not in the same way as,
I think they'd go out of way to try to avoid
something like that could,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty damn good story.
It still makes me a little, I don't mind sharing it or anything like that, but I'd say that the feeling I got from that and knowing what's happened, like it's kind of makes me very uneasy because, I like ghost stories. I like watching the ghost hunters and stuff like that, but you're kind of divorced from it. When it actually happens to you, it's entirely a different set of emotions.
Oh yeah.
And people can say whatever they want on TV. They can blow, make a door blow open with a fan or whatever they're going to do, pull strings. But when it happens to you and there is not a logical explanation for what's happening, I'm a very logical person. I problem solve. That's my career. I diagnose automobiles. Very logical and test steps and reaching conclusions, but when something like this happens and there's not an explanation, it really makes you uneasy.
Yeah.
Because if it can do that, what else can it do? You know.
And you sound like me coming from the scientific world as well. I'm tell people that I'm the healthy skeptic, and I get berated because I said skeptic. Oh my gosh, don't do
Yeah.
that.
Steven, in case you didn't know, Randy was like this chemical, like engineering logistics dude for like the army. So he knows
Nuclear,
like
biological,
chemistry.
chemical engineering, or chemical defense.
Actually, could you just share with us what you did with chemistry in the army exactly? Because I forget the details.
It wasn't really a whole lot. Now, of course, I was assigned to help inspectors with the Chemical Weapons Convention Treaty, where we demilled all of our chemical
Mhm.
weapons stockpile and such. I can't tell you what the state of it is right now, whether they've completed it. I
So
doubt
you
they
would
have.
handle chemical weapons?
I was nuclear, biological, chemical weapons defense as well. I made
Damn,
sure
you
the
gotta
gas
know you
mask
gotta
worked
really
right.
know your fucking chemistry if you're gonna handle actual chemical weapons. Damn.
Well, I mean, I've been in live agent chambers. I've actually worked with live chemical agents. VX nerve agent, GB nerve agent, and stuff like that. And I worked on
Hey,
Johnson Island for a year where we demilled it too. So,
Randy, I gotta ask you a quick question.
Mm.
Chemical engineering question. What, in your opinion, is the most fucked up chemical for a person to get like hit by?
mm,
What is like the most fucked up?
well, it's blood agents, really, technically speaking. When they use blood agent, we're talking about cyanide. Cyanide can be used in gaseous form, and you get hit with cyanide, there, you bend over, kiss your butt goodbye. There's nothing they can do for you.
They have
Especially
cyanide in a gaseous form?
they have, yeah.
Damn, that must be like instant death. Like
What's
if you
called
get
it's what's called a blood agent, and that's exactly what it is. Because what it does,
damn.
it combines with the hemoglobin in your blood, so
How fast does it kill
cannot
you?
accept oxygen.
How
Minutes,
fast does it? Minutes?
minutes max.
Damn.
You seen the movies, the guys taking cyanide tablets and they go into the foam of mouths and stuff, and
Well, yeah, they're
done.
ingesting it, but gaseous form
You're
is like
inhaling it. It's basically the same thing. You're getting it in the
damn.
bloodstream faster than if you had ingested it.
Well, at least it's quick.
Yeah, no. My worst fear though is the choking agents. That's the ones that get into your lungs and cause you dry land drowning and stuff. Cause your lungs to scar and seep and weep, and it literally you're choking to death over the course of days and sometimes weeks.
Not a good time.
No,
Not a good time.
No.
so yeah, they're all bad. Don't get me wrong. Nerve agents, they've got antidote kits. If you get hit with a nerve agent, you hit yourself with them, and it helps the blood kind of push it out. You're going to be messed up for a while. Don't get me wrong, but it won't kill you. Whereas blood agents, if you get it in you, it's over. There's
It
no
sounds
cure for
like to
cyanide.
me like the cyanide gas. It sounds like that's the one where like it hits the people and then they just instantly drop dead almost. Right?
They would go down pretty quick. They would go down pretty
Yeah.
quick because they'd immediately lose, not necessarily lose consciousness per se, but they would lose.
Life.
Well, the reason I call it a blood agent is because what it does, like I said, cyanide reacts with the
Mhm.
hemoglobin in your blood, and it causes you not to be able to get oxygen. You're essentially going to suffocate it that quick because your blood cannot get
Okay.
any oxygen.
Now that we're talking chemistry, people got questions for you, Randy. Bigfoot
Uh-oh.
Fade says, "Does Randy think chemtrails are real?"
Chemtrails. You talking about the stuff, the vapor
No,
trails
no,
behind us?
come on, man. You're a conspiracy guy. You know chemtrails.
No, I
You
am
know,
not a conspiracy guy, not one way, shape, or form. If you're talking about
dude,
the
dude,
trails coming
you're
out
the
of the
only
daggum airliners, yeah, you
dude.
need to go back.
Don't talk shit like you're not the conspiracy guy. You're literally the only person in this fucking community who literally wears a tinfoil hat on his show.
That's
Get out of
because I
here
don't
with the
want another
fucking
BS to infiltrate my brain.
He's the conspiracy guy. He's Mr. Conspiracy.
Yeah, imagine that. No, 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 no. Conspiracy guys are the guys that think the moon landing didn't happen. Conspiracy guys are the guys that think the government's only telling us part of what they know. Well, yeah, they're gonna always tell you part
Wait,
of it.
Randy, you think the moon landing happened?
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah.
You're one of those suckers? My
Yeah, you can
God.
call me what you want, but guess what? I got science on my
You
side.
got
Oh, don't.
bamboozled, dude. You got bamboozled by Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm I'm sorry to say.
Hey, no, don't bring that up because I'm still holding Pluto against him. Okay.
Yeah, I did a whole episode called "Fuck Pluto." It's
Yeah,
the
I remember.
shittiest. That shit
I
ain't even a
remember.
planet.
I was really upset when they determined
What?
that
I was
Pluto
glad. I was like,
wasn't
"Fuck that whole planet, man."
wasn't a
You know that
planet.
planet? You know Pluto literally has a cock and balls painted on its side. Literally.
Well, I was
Are you
initially
aware of this?
upset. I have not, but I was initially upset
Okay.
when Pluto was determined to not be a planet. But when I went to a
Yes.
planetarium and they
It's still
actually
there.
explained why,
Yeah.
and it made sense to me.
Yeah, because of being a quote unquote biplanetary or biplanet two piece, whatever they want to call it, kind of two pieces rotating around each other, whatever
It's
it was.
it
My
doesn't have a
daughter
regular
graduated
it
with
doesn't have a regular orbit. Like it moves
exactly.
around, and they have other celestial bodies that do that, so it's not a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Well,
Dude,
you've got
Pluto can suck my fucking dick. How about that? How about them
Pluto.
apples,
Also,
Randy?
you've got main Pluto, and you got the moon. I don't even remember what the moon's name is, but the moon of Pluto, and they rotate around. They
The moon of
rotate
Pluto is
around each other,
Charon.
and they kind of have an axis in the middle of the two, and they kind of do a warbled little rotation revolution type thing. So
yeah.
Okay,
like
I'm gonna put. Hey guys, tell
I
me a
just don't like it.
picture. Okay, I'm gonna put up this picture, and you tell me if this ain't a cock and balls on painted on its side. Ready?
Well, you have
Ready?
weird eyes. Did you lift your eyes up more first?
Okay, are you ready? Look,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
that's a cock and balls.
You're not wrong.
That is a cock and balls. Fuck this planet, literally.
Why are you showing
It's
a
painted. It's painted
computer
on the front of the
generated
planet.
picture?
It's like cock and
Why
balls.
are you showing a computer generated picture?
That's literally what it looks like. Cock and balls.
Anyway,
They have names for those regions. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should look them up. What are the actual names of the two craters and that one ridge line forming the cock and balls, gentlemen?
why are you asking me?
Actually, you know what? With the white and the red, it kind of looks like a used tampon. I ain't
Hey,
gonna
you know
lie.
what it looks like? It looks like Pluto, but it's still a computer generated
You
picture.
know, the red is from iron deposits. That they believe that's where the red color comes from, and obviously the white is ice.
It's a
But
computer generated photo. This
but they
is
think
not an
it's
actual
actually
photo.
really nice. But yeah, but cock and balls, gentlemen. Anyway, so
Some
oh,
people
Steven,
kids.
speaking of paranormal, that wasn't the only paranormal experience you had. Do you want to share like some of the stuff with that entity in your house? Because I was
Man,
actually there for that.
you were, and
Yeah.
um, and you weren't the only person that noticed it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
no, I was the one who ended it. What are you talking about?
well, in facts, so this house was built in 2004, and the house is built in an area that was known as the Hurricanes, and it was an area of ill repute long ago. Uh, Moonshining, prostitution, gambling, that sort of thing. My neighbor's yard has evidence of an old stone foundation there. Like,
Oh, I didn't know all that about your area. I didn't
yeah,
realize there was so much bad
so
history around there.
there is. And so when we moved into this house, there is a bonus room over the garage. And
Yeah.
I turned that into a man cave. And I had my stereo, home theater set up in there, and it was my area. But you always felt a little unease in that room, you know. And it is now my son's bedroom, and but there were other people that Donnie and I both know that mentioned the same thing, the same feeling of you're up there, you feel uneasy, like something's watching you. And Donnie, being a master psychic warrior,
I am the master psychic warrior. Yes.
um, went up there and performed some sort of, I don't know if it was voodoo ritual or whatever it was, but
I did do that.
it, you can go up there now and you don't feel like someone's watching you, and you don't feel uneasy anymore. Pretty
And he's
pretty
not kidding, folks. Like, I'm serious. There was actual activity, and I went in there and I stopped it.
Yes.
I put my foot down.
Literally.
Not even an exaggeration. Not even like a bit or nothing. I'm serious.
As I said,
Yeah.
Donnie and I know each other in real life, so it's not,
Yeah.
And
Randy, it was becoming an actual problem because during this time, like, I don't know if you want me. Is it cool if I talk about like what was going on with your son's dreams?
No, go right ahead.
Well, because he was always having nightmares, right? To the point where he was constantly waking Steven up. And he was telling me about this one day. And then I asked Steven, like, what is he seeing in these nightmares? And you remember, do you want to describe what he was seeing?
I'll let you tell the story. You're a little better at it than me.
Well, he would see like this. I think it was described as like a little girl who would come out of his closet and then sit on his like drawers or his cabinet.
Yeah.
She would sit on top of it, and he would be in bed just like looking at this whole thing transpire, and she would be giving him like the mean look, right? Like the evil eyes. Right? So
And so I gotta interject a little
Yeah.
bit there, in that Donnie had better conversations with him about it because naturally,
because I was already involved in the paranormal stuff. Yeah.
me being the parent, and go back to bed, there's nothing in your room, that kind of thing. Whereas I think Tate sensed that you were, in a way able to help, or maybe in a way able to understand more than the average person could, because it was not something I had seen or experienced. So to me, he's just making something up because he doesn't want to go to bed, and to you it was kind of like, no, there's something to this because you're far more in tune with that world than I am.
Hey, Randy, you want me to share with you how I stopped it? I don't even know if Steven knows how I.
Is this the
I
one you
don't
farted
know.
on?
Okay, so let me walk you through the events, okay, Randy? So I'm over at Steven's house. It's we're hanging out. It was our weekend thing. We meet up for like barbecues and stuff. And this night I was having dinner with Steven, and his kid and his girl. And there was the four of us. We're hanging out. We're eating steaks, and there's a lot of broccoli. You know how broccoli is. You know how broccoli does. Maybe some asparagus was involved. And you know what asparagus do, Randy. So they're
Yep.
telling me the story over dinner about like, the kid's experiences and the kind of shit he was seeing. I'm sitting here listening to this, and they feel comfortable to tell me because they knew that I was already involved in all the paranormal podcasting shit, right? Right. So I'm listening to this because they know I'm open-minded about it. And I'm like, okay, I see what I now have to do. Excuse me. And then, they think I'm going up to the bathroom. Oh no. I go march right into the kid's room, and I open the closet door, and I release like a loud one. Like it was built up.
I remember you telling me this story. I didn't know it was for his kid though.
I'm gonna add an extra detail to that I didn't tell you. I initially walked up because I felt like I had to take a shit. I mean, it was a meaty time. There was a lot of steak being eaten at that time, right? So I thought I had to take a shit. But then as I was walking to the bathroom, I was like, no, I don't have to take a shit. Just got to fart really bad. Then I marched into kid's room, opened the closet door, point my ass into it like I was twerking, and I just unload, right? I closed the door really quick, the closet door, so it could stew into juices. The entity can stew into juices. And then I wait for a couple seconds, and then I open the door, and I point my head into the closet, right? I put my head in the closet, and I'm like focusing forward, like, I got my third eye awake, but I'm not trying to read the ghost. I'm trying to send out a message, right? So I'm like transmitting this thought forward. I'm like, listen, motherfucker, let me show you. Let's do a mental link. You can read me psychically. Let me show you something, right? And right then and there, I flash like images of like all the like podcasts I've been doing, all the people I know, all the psychics I know, and paranormal teams and like mediums. And then I said to the thing, I was like, if you continue to cause this kid problems, believe me, and they tell me about it, oh, believe me, I'm going to bring some people down here. We're going to make your life very difficult.
Mhm.
And then from that point on, it just stopped. It stopped.
Which is what you want.
Yeah. I was like, but I was very honest and I was very clear. Listen, I know psychics, I know mediums, I know motherfuckers in this field, I know paranormal investigation teams, and if this becomes a problem, I can find people to actually come here, and believe me, we can make your life real fucking difficult. So fucking stop.
Ancient Korean secret.
Yeah. What do you think about my strategy, Randy? I think it was a pretty
It
winning
worked.
strategy. It worked.
Sure. I mean, it worked one time, didn't it?
It did.
It did work.
It
But the thing is, at the time, I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them I did all that, right? Steven didn't even know like the whole story.
no.
But then, like after a couple weeks, you know, I was talking on the phone with them, and they were like, you know what? The funniest thing that night where you were here that weekend. Ever since that night, for some reason, all that weird paranormal stuff stopped. I wonder why. But I knew why. I knew why.
Just remember, Stephen, somewhere in your son's closet is still the remnants, okay, of what he did.
We thought it was septic issues, but it was.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I bet you that ghost after I left was just kind of sitting there. That little girl was just like, "What the fuck was that? Who the fuck was that guy?"
So it's actually crazy that when you go into that closet, and you go all the way to the back of the closet, there is a little door. It's quite small, but I can just squeeze through it. Because if you look at my house and you start to count all the windows, you'll notice that there's a window that doesn't go to any room. And if you go through that little door, there's a little unfinished space. And part of what's in there is somebody went in there and nailed these boards down, very small, like 1x2 boards, and names are carved into them. But that's what's in there. I use it for storage, but kind of makes you wonder too, do the names have anything to do with it?
Yeah,
hold on 1 second. I'm just reading some of the comments. I'm confused about what's going on.
Oh no, nothing's going on big. It's not that big a deal. It's just I'm trying to answer Shelly, and at the same time, and I'm trying to figure out what she was actually asking. So
stop distracting me, chat. You know I have ADD. Hey, God damn it,
Johnny, turn the chat off so I can talk on the chat. Okay.
Stop taking advantage of me, people. Anyway, Steven.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move this conversation forward a bit. Are you familiar with Dogman?
What's that even? Like I saw the mention of
like
it
you know about Bigfoot, right? Like you know about Bigfoot. You have thoughts about Bigfoot.
Mothman. I know about.
You've heard about Mothman. You know, you've heard about gray aliens. Do you know about Dogman?
I absolutely don't. Like I've
So
never seen.
Did you know
a TV show about that?
See, here's the thing, Randy. Steven's not in the know with the cryptid community. Not really. So he doesn't realize that Bigfoot's not even the most popular cryptid in this community. So, Randy, would you please like to introduce Steven to the concept of Dogman? It's your turn, Randy. You tell Steven the story of and the concept. Explain to him. Give him that lesson and introduction. Okay. Who or what is Dogman?
I don't know why he dropped this one on me, but okay. Dogman is supposedly an entity / thing / creature / something of another world / something of a different realm, i.e., through a different dimension or something that resembles what we, for lack of a better term, would call a werewolf. Okay, it's a muscularly built humanoid body with the claws and paws and such of a wolf, all hairy like a wolf or dog, and the actual head and snout of said dog. Okay. That is what is being reported. That's what all I can offer you is what it is.
Fuck yeah. You know what, Steven?
I've never
I've
seen
never
it.
heard of it
Fucking real.
before.
Because people are like werewolves. No, here's the thing. Because I think if someone were to run up to you, right, and they said, "Holy shit, Steven, I saw a Bigfoot." You've heard of Bigfoot. You've heard about them, right? But if a motherfucker came to you and said, "Steven, I saw a werewolf," you'd be like, "Okay, get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, it'd be like we have coyotes. Like it's not
Yeah.
like anything unusual. In fact, I was at a yard waste site recently. We were doing some volunteer work, my son and I, cutting firewood, and I saw wolves in the wild for the first time. You, you know, you see an animal that looks like a giant dog, I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's a coyote or a wolf.
Hmm. Do you think it's believable that there could be a half man? Okay, how about all right, let me reframe the question. Do you think the idea of a half man, half ape is more or less or just as believable as a half man, half dog?
You know, I'm open to the possibility, but I have so many questions that surround anything of this subject matter of where's the body? Why isn't this a known scientific thing at this point? You know, who is reporting seeing this? Where are they located? What is the history of these sightings and reportings?
See, I'll be honest. I first got into this community from the ghost paranormal side because I was like you, Steven. I had like more paranormal experiences, and that's what got my interest going. So the whole cryptid thing was like I kind of met cryptid people by accident because of their association with paranormal people, right? I never had a cryptid experience myself ever, like ever, right? But it's kind of fascinating though because people be walking around being like, "Yo, fucking monsters are real," and I'm just like, "Monsters are real?" I wasn't even thinking about monsters. I was just here thinking about ghosts and psychics. That's why I was interested.
Yeah,
And
I've heard of those things,
but then they're like,
and
and they tell me about Dogman. At first, I didn't honestly didn't believe that shit.
well, I've
I was
heard of
like,
those
okay,
things, and I've
fucking
heard
werewolf.
of
Yeah,
Bigfoot, but what they leave off,
yeah.
in these TV shows and whatnot that talk about it is they don't discuss it having any kind of magical abilities or psychic powers or
See,
any of
here's
that stuff.
here's I think that, in my opinion, the difference between Bigfoot and Dogman is that biologically, I guess, like in terms of like evolution and everything, the concept of a Bigfoot kind of makes sense, right? Like if you compare like a Neanderthal or like a gorilla, Bigfoot is possible, right? Just like a big version of a humanoid, right? It's not too far fetched. But for it to have like the body of a person, like evolve like from an ape or like a person, but a dog, that's kind of there's no reason why a dog would ever evolve that way. Like in terms of like their anatomies and their physiology and their evolution, that shit just doesn't make any fucking sense at all. It's not like dogs were sort of getting towards walking on two legs. No, their bodies are fucking just from the beginning, just quadrupedal. That's what they're designed for. So,
Absolutely. And it, it kind of begs the question of if this is real, then why is it not a more mainstream topic? Why is it not more kind of everyday society? You turn on the news and they mention that there's a sighting of this creature or whatnot. It's not something that is, Bigfoot conversations are not common, I guess, outside of this community. And, like kind of the whole show me the proof, show me the evidence, let's see what it really is. Um, you don't have a mention of it in I mean, I don't know of a class or a college course or anything that talks about this information.
Yeah.
So is it that it's not accepted in the scientific community as a real thing, or
It's
they
way less
can't
likely than a
they can't
Bigfoot.
prove it, or what is the common denominator?
Yeah.
Like, how many of these sightings are there? Is there a map that shows where they are, when they happened? Again,
I'll
geologically,
put
not
it this
geologic,
way.
geographically is where I'm saying.
Yeah,
where are they reported to be?
there are, and I'll put it this way: there are quote unquote thousands of sightings. I have yet to see any actual pictures of prints per se. There are thousands of sightings, and we don't have anything even remotely close to a Paul Freeman film, versus much less a Patterson Gimlin film, to document the Dogman side of it. All we have to go off of is eyewitness accounts. That's literally all we have to go off of.
I mean,
So,
because I've seen a bunch of Yetis, but they're ice chests.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Or my cool, I got a tumbler too. I got a tumbler that I drink my coffee out of.
So, has anyone cataloged these eyewitness accounts? How far back do they go in time?
Yeah, they've cataloged them.
Do we have hieroglyphics on a pyramid that show a Sasquatch? Or is it called a different name in that
The
part
thing
of
is,
the world?
it really depends on how you interpret it. Because if you interpret things a certain way, then like every culture has Bigfoot, and every hieroglyph is an image of Bigfoot. If you interpret it that way, it doesn't necessarily have to be Bigfoot either. You know what I mean? But any mention of like everyone, there are people out there who think the Nephilim and mentioned in the Bible are just Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
What about the Sphinx? Is that a representation of Dogman?
Well,
No, actually,
Anubis.
they're pretty sure that the Sphinx was actually supposed to be just a lion, and someone else came along way later and just carved a face into it. It was supposed to be a lion. It was supposed to be pointing to like Leo, so they made a lion. So I mean, kind of makes sense. But that's what I heard. I
Yeah.
didn't do much research into it, but yeah, I don't know. It's just biologically, Dogman is just as likely as a flying dolphin. Like a dolphin that suddenly evolves to sprout wings and now it can fly. It's
We do
just as
have fish
likely as
that
a
fly.
flying dolphin.
I
If
mean,
you
it's a
think about
thing.
it.
They do
An
have
ape
flying
like
fish.
an ape like Bigfoot is believable.
Yeah.
It's plausible. It's plausible.
But
Yeah, because it's the same basic family line.
Yeah. I wonder if there was like some kind of retarded version of like a Bigfoot human hybrid, but it was like extra feral. I wonder that sometimes.
well, I wonder about these psychic or magical abilities and what they're reportedly capable of doing. And if so, how did it evolve to
Yeah.
have that ability? But then it's more ape-like than human. Like, where does all that come from? Someone could easily mistake a bear, for a Bigfoot, I think, and the lighting's bad.
Yeah.
Bears stand up on their hind legs. They're
But then there's
huge.
also enough stories of people who encounter them up close, though, where it's like, yeah, I know what a bear looks like, and that ain't a bear. And it was just like 20 feet in front of me, and
Well, I mean,
as
honestly, and
populated as the country is, and with all of the technology that exists,
yeah,
where's the hard
and
proof?
I can understand that actual argument, because honestly, we should, at our technological stage right now, we should be able to find just about anything in the world. But there's a lot of places we haven't been in.
Actually, I could see a lot more people confusing bears with Dogman.
Yeah, because of the
Bear
snout.
on two, a bear on two looks a lot more like Dogman than it does a Sasquatch.
Yep.
And,
I'm wondering now if a bunch of these Dogman encounters are just misidentified bears.
what kind of encounters are people having with a Dogman? Like, I don't even know really what it is, other than
Well, okay. I'll tell you one about our good friend Monica.
Hmm.
Dude, she had one running up like next to her car, and she was like trying to speed away from it, and it was like grinning into her like window.
was it running on 4 legs or two?
It was running on twos, and it was keeping up with the car, and it was like looking in her driver window. And this is Monica's a person I trust. Like she's a pretty
Yeah.
level-headed person,
Yeah.
you know. If she says she saw it and she was pretty
Yeah.
traumatized by it, I mean, I fucking believe her,
I don't
man.
doubt anything Monica ever said.
I
Honestly,
don't doubt
she's
anything
that
she says.
trustworthy.
Yeah.
Now,
She's
I
probably one
believe
of the most
she believes.
trustworthy people I know.
Yeah, I
When think
believe
about it.
she believes what she saw and what she's describing. Does that mean that's exactly what it is? No, it doesn't. But she believes it, and that's good enough for me. You know what I mean? It's much like when we do the ghost shows, the stuff on Sunday with Truth or Tinfoil. Just because I could take a single instance in time on a picture and kind of pick it apart a little bit and say this could be this, this could be that. If I've got the actual person in chat that sent it to me that can explain it, that lends it credence. The personal experience and what you get off that person adds more to it than just a picture and a spot in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and I think about what would the motive be for
Exactly.
this creature to run beside a car and look in the window and grin at somebody. What is its motive? Because
Yeah, that ain't
you
natural.
you
That
have a
that kind of shit ain't
raccoon
natural.
or
No.
a possum or a bear go into your trash can. The motive is food.
Yeah.
See,
Um,
here's the thing for me. Like, I'm pretty convinced that like magic is real. And I'm not trying to sound like a kooky guy, but based off everything I've learned and read and
Yeah.
studied about, I'm pretty convinced there's some like magical, mystical shit out there.
Yep. Oh yeah, there's
Right?
no
Like,
doubt.
if
There's
if a
stuff we can't
fucking
explain.
okay, if you knew for a fact that there was like a voodoo priest living next door to you, I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure you would want to make sure you do everything you could to not get them pissed off at you.
Well, I
you
want
and
to make sure
I
he
just
understands
had
I'm
a
not there to
psychic.
hurt him too.
We just had
Yeah.
a psychic connection there, Donnie, because as you were forming that sentence, I was thinking that same thought.
Yeah.
As if
I wouldn't want to
no,
fuck with them. Would
knowing what
you?
little I know about it, I'm
Yeah.
terrified enough of it to know to stay away from
Yeah.
it. And I think that that's maybe the way that most people think about electricity, for example. They know that if they touch those power lines, they're going to die. They don't need to know why or any of the science behind it or what's actually going on. They just know not to mess with it. And
Mhm.
that's
Hey,
how I feel
Bernard
about
Fox,
voodoo.
what's going on
I
out there?
couldn't prove whether it's real or not, but even if it's just the psychological effect that it has on you, knowing that you've been cursed, even if it's not really a thing, but
Yeah.
knowing that that's happened is going to mess with your mind enough that you're going to start seeing it everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And it's that psychological torture.
Well, and that's kind of like in the paranormal world. I tell people a lot of times people will manifest what they want to see. A lot of times they will make
Right.
it to where they can see it. You know what I mean?
That's human
And
nature in so many ways. When people, you hear the saying, if you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it.
Exactly.
Anything of those lines, along those lines, if you look for it enough, think about, you buy a new car and then suddenly everywhere you go, you start seeing them where you really didn't notice them before.
Yep.
by the way, when Nemovir says Monica looks like she works third shift at the Waffle House, I mean, like sometimes she dresses that way, and yeah, she does look tired because she's
Yeah. She
actually
works her butt
tired.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's
And
like pretty sick.
here,
So
here's the thing, though.
yeah.
She also, even though she looks like she's also exactly like those third shift people at Waffle House that you open your mouth wrong, she will shut you up real quick.
And Amy says Monica is tough
Here we
and
go.
beautiful.
I'm thinking the same thing as you're saying it. It's like you don't mess with Waffle House workers. They can
No,
fight.
no, you do not. They're
They
just
can
ready
fight.
for you to say something wrong. Yeah.
Absolutely. Come
Why
at
would
me,
I want
bro.
to mess with them? They give me such delicious things like
Exactly.
grits, and their chili is very good. Waffle House
I-
chili is actually underrated. People don't know. People
Yes,
don't
it
know
is.
about their
It's
chili.
really good.
Yeah.
Waffle House got a lot of food that's really good. You get the right one, Waffle House is the best place for a drunk to eat by a long shot.
Oh no,
Amy
doubt.
Creel says Monica is tough and beautiful. However, I'm cuter, so there's that. I am the cuter one. So
Yeah.
So, I mean, I want to be open minded, but adding the supernatural abilities and psychic abilities into the cryptids makes it that much harder to believe
oh, you
for me.
think that's supernatural freaky shit? Yo,
Yeah.
Randy,
Yeah.
tell Steven about fairies. Yes, Steven, fairies are real. Fairies are fucking real. Tell him about
You
the
know what?
fairies.
You know why I say they're real? Because I'm too scared to tell Monica they're not.
People be believing in fairies, dude.
Hey, I'm
For
telling you right
real.
now. Now, don't get me wrong. There's
First time in the cryptid community, I heard people talk about the fae, or come
yeah,
on, let's. The
they're-
only reason why people call them the fae is because they want to sound respectable. Because if everyone's calling them fairies, they sound fucking stupid.
yeah.
That's why they all call them the fae. No, just tell them, say the right word, say it for what it is. They're fucking fairies, okay? So yeah, Steven,
Hey, yeah.
fairies are
Well, my wife has a garden gnome
fucking
collection out
fairies.
front. Okay, and I think the gnomes are just one step right around a fairy. So
Dude,
I don't trust them.
convinced. People are convinced they're real, like convinced.
Well,
I've never
Like,
seen one. I've
no, I
never
hadn't either.
had an
have you ever
encounter
seen
with
the tooth
one.
fairy?
We
You
tried to
know,
capture her a couple of
I
times.
have
Yeah.
been to Tooth Fairy a couple times, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about. Tooth Fairy's real. Quiet now. Santa Claus is real too. Damn it.
Steven, which one are you more likely to believe? The fact werewolves being real or fairies being real? If you have to choose one of the two, which one would you lean towards?
I I I I I want to be open-minded, but throwing something supernatural like that at me makes it extremely difficult that
Mm.
you have a little creature or a colony of little creatures that can fly. And again, physical evidence is something that
No,
I
they
need.
can't fly, but the fairies the actual cryptid fairies
Okay,
are never reported as flying, but they do teleport a lot. They do teleport a lot.
so they can teleport, but they can't fly. So
Well, think about it. If you could
what is their
teleport
purpose?
anywhere,
What do they
what's the
do?
point
What
of
is
flying? What's the point of flying if you can just teleport?
Well, you're not
Yeah.
wrong, but then again, what is their purpose? What do they do? You know,
Well, they live in like other dimensions or like pocket dimensions, and they come in and out, and they like do shit.
give me an example.
They're like ghosts, except they're
Mhm.
more like intentional or conscious of what they're doing. You know how ghosts are kind of like in a loop or stuck in one place or whatever?
Yeah.
Fairies are like that, but except they seem like they have more autonomy or more agency, you know?
Yeah.
So, let me just throw caution to the wind here. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I went to drive my truck to work, and I don't drive my truck very often. I primarily use it to tow a boat, and that's it. And inclement weather's coming. I want to make sure it's gassed up and battery's good. It's going to start and everything. And I went looking for my keys in the place where I keep my keys, and they're not there. And I check all of the other places where they could possibly be. And so now you've got me wondering, did a fairy take my keys?
Those
Or is it
fucking fairies, man.
or
Fucking
is it more
fairies.
plausible that my cat took my keys and hid them somewhere because they're shiny?
Or what if the fairies were the ones guiding your cat directing it to take those keys?
Cats don't listen to anybody. So that's
Exactly.
not a valid theory.
I'm
That's
sorry. I'm
probably
with
right.
Steven on that one. Cats do not care what anybody thinks or wants. Okay.
They're going to do what they want to do. So if a fairy took my keys, you're lucky that I
I
had
feel
an
like if
extra
a
step.
fairy was on a cat's level, it could find ways to negotiate a deal.
Yeah.
Don't eat me.
Yeah. Please don't eat me after I've passed out. And
By the way, take these keys. Yeah.
How about this, cat? You take these keys, and I'll leave a bunch of sardines next to your bowl.
You know what's really
How about
bad
it?
is I got two cats that won't touch sardines. They won't even touch tuna fish.
I've never purchased sardines in my life.
Oh,
Well, I
I
sardines
sardines
from
and
the
mustard
can
sauce on
sometimes.
crackers.
No, I do. I do
Must be soft.
sardines on rice is really good. I like to put sardines in my ramen noodles. That's
Hmm.
like real. That's real grimy Asian shit right there. Like a dump a can of sardines and like your ramen noodles. That's how you know you're a grimy Asian.
Get
Anyway,
Get Nemo's quote there about the cats. Cats are still pissed off. They're no longer being worshipped, so the cats are still pissed off.
yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, no,
So
y-
educate me, please, on is a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, a Yeti, an abominable snowman, are they the same thing, or is it a variation on a theme?
I think this.
Yeti and Abominable Snowman, same thing.
Well, okay, now think about this. Where was the abominable snowman moniker actually started at? It started up
That
in
I don't
Alaska.
know.
It was started in
Oh, really?
Alaska based on a Bigfoot. Yeah, I got to remember the guy's
Oh,
file. I watched the thing on the guy's files. He actually
yeah.
coined the term abominable snowman. This was back in the '60s, if I'm not mistaken. So when they use abominable snowman about the Yeti, they're just kind of adapting it because it's in a more of a Himalayan setting. I think they're all cousins type thing. They're like, if you want to call it different species of the same thing, I mean, or different races of the same thing. I don't know. There you go. Serious, you got it right. Same thing, different ethnicity. They got a different ethnicity because you talk about the skunk ape that's down in Florida versus the Sasquatch slash Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest. The skunk ape's a smaller specimen, but it's basically the same thing. It's just adapted to its location in a different way
Well, I would compare that to cats, house cats,
versus
being
cougars
bobcats,
or
bobcats,
yeah,
pumas, cheetahs, lions, tigers.
jaguars. So
They're
yeah,
all cats.
they're all still cats. Yeah.
So whatever species you want to call a Bigfoot, these are
Yep.
all.
Well, okay. They also have like subspecies of Bigfoot within like the US. Because you got like the Florida skunk ape versus
I've never heard of that before,
like
and
the Pacific Northwest Bigfoot versus like, the Texas Bigfoot and
Yeah.
you know, each version of Bigfoot in different states, some of them have some differences and apparently like the Alaskan Bigfoot are like twice their size. They're like stupidly big.
Yeah.
Um
And
but they
they're
also have
yeah,
vicious.
polar bears there, and
Yeah.
polar bears
yeah.
are huge.
But I'm talking about like a 15-foot Bigfoot. I'm pretty sure it can handle a
Well,
pull. When it gets to 15 feet, that's like ridiculous size.
but then you
Yeah.
talk about different regions. You talk about the Yeti in the Himalayas, the
Yeah.
Yeren in China, the Yowie in Australia. I mean, they're different areas. They're basically the same creatures that's described, but they're
Mhm.
different names because that's what their
Yeah.
folklore has.
So, as far as the folklore goes, when we're talking about the species, when did people first report them historically? Like,
They've been
Honestly,
reported through.
um,
We can't pinpoint it because it's been through.
Dogman, we can pinpoint Dogman.
That's Anubis. I mean, you're talking about where that one kind of started.
I'd say I'd say the 1990s was with Linda Godfrey was when it was
Oh
first
well, yeah,
reported.
that one. But yeah, my thing with the Bigfoot one though, you're talking about it's been passed down through Native
Yeah.
American and different cultures, Aboriginal in
Mhm.
Australia as well. Your native cultures and stuff have passed down through folklore and legends for you know
So, if
years
you
upon
wanna
years upon years. Yeah.
honestly, if you want to, f okay, Steven, if you're asking about, like, how long have Bigfoot been reported in, like, Western, like, American, like,
Yeah.
lore, say, like, the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Late 1800s, 1920s was, like, a big time period for Bigfoot lore to come out. That's when you had that one story of that one hiker who got kidnapped, in his sleeping bag, and they took him back, and he was with that Bigfoot family, and he escaped.
Yeah. I think that was
That
what
was a
eighteen
big deal.
was that 1920s when that happened. I think wasn't
It was like late 1800s, early 1900s was
it? Yeah.
around that time. I think it was
Yeah.
1920.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But you
late
still had
1800s. was when
Yeah,
Bigfoot
you still
was.
had Teddy Roosevelt reporting that same thing in his
Yeah, that
book.
was in the 1920s, but because he was influenced by that story.
Well, no, that was Teddy Roosevelt did it in the late 1800s. He wrote it up in the late 1800s before he even became president.
Yeah, no, I know that story.
Yeah.
But I'm
So I
pretty
mean,
certain, like, he had actually heard the others. Okay, so you know what?
stories like there are a bunch of stories like that though.
I'm getting confused as to which one was first.
It had been Roosevelt's account as far as the white man's account to put it into record. Pretty much it was Roosevelt
Yeah.
because he did it when he was going through the West before he even became Attorney General or whatever it was in New York.
Actually, I think Amy might be right. I think I may have read about like a couple accounts that were like from the 1700s.
Yeah, and that very well could be, like I
Yeah.
said, because they date back even further than that with Native Americans. So
So
Well,
were these?
that's why I asked earlier with Native Americans, that shit goes back a long ways, right? That's
yeah,
different.
yeah,
So were
Yeah.
they considered magical entities then, or is
They were
that a more
considered-
recent phenomenon?
they were considered a
By the
being
Native
of
Americans?
of supernatural origin, I think.
Okay.
Well,
so-
actually, no, I read it. No, I actually read a bit on this. There are certain tribes that actually don't see Bigfoot as supernatural, but they see
Mhm.
Bigfoot as just another tribe.
Gotcha.
They're like, oh, them over there. Yeah, we trade with them like every year. You know, we'll send a caravan there and they'll send stuff back. Yeah, we totally trade with them.
Yeah.
Like they just think of them as another tribe, you know?
What kind of things are
You
they?
know, but they
trading
always
for?
say, yeah, we don't mess with them. We don't like go wandering off in their area.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you know, we sometimes trade.
What were they?
Well, they
trading-
also
what-
knew how
what were
to
they
how to
trading
treat them
for?
with respect. Yeah.
Oh no, that I don't know. But I think it was like obviously they wanted the Bigfoot wanted their food. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
What
Well,
else would they want, right?
Could they have
Especially
not-
anything with any kind of
could they
sweet
have not
stuff.
just taken it from them? You know, like
No, I think well, most Native Americans, I mean all of them, all the accounts were basically like as long as we didn't fuck with them, they wouldn't fuck with us. You know?
it's interesting because you describe a magical creature. I know that the automatic response you would get from a Catholic church would be that it's a demon.
Yeah, right off the
Yeah.
bat.
And there are
And-
people who think that. There are people who think that.
Yep.
And I think Dogman would fall into it. There are people that would say that aliens, you know, be it the tall whites or the small grays or whatever, would fall under that category as well.
Okay. Steven, how about this? Do you know about skinwalkers?
I've heard of it, and my understanding of it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because the little bit I know about it is it's a shape-shifting creature that the Native Americans call a skinwalker.
No.
Okay.
It is. Randy, do you want to explain it or shall I?
You better explain it because you know my view on it to start with. So
Oh yeah, well, after I explain it, why don't you share your view, okay? Because I'm
Okay,
interested in hearing it. Okay.
again.
So well, I mean for the fucking listening audience, Randy, damn.
Okay, all right.
Think about the people in the chat, dude. Anyway. So, Stephen, according to what most people say, skinwalkers are actually Native American shaman who've gone either corrupt, rogue, or insane. The shamans are always like the ones with all the mystical stuff, right? They know
Yeah.
the connections and
Yeah.
everything. And most of them, you consider them as like, they would be regarded as like good leaders and whatever, heralds and all that, shepherds. But occasionally you get one that just gets all fucked up and just uses this knowledge for whatever fucked up thing he wants. And they go rogue. And there's apparently this ritual where they have to basically murder someone in their family in order to complete the ritual. It's a big ask, right? But if they're able to do it, they gain the powers of the skinwalker, which apparently means that they are able to turn into different animals and different like humanoid versions of animals. And there's a lot of people out there who think the Dogman are actually, remember earlier we were talking about how they don't make biological sense.
No.
A lot of
Yeah.
people out there thinking they're actually these skinwalkers out there.
That actually makes more sense to me. A lot more sense to me than if a skinwalker was a real thing, that seems like something it would do, rather than a dog evolving. Something that we've never been able to catch or find dead somewhere, or any of that sort of thing. But if you have dark magic, black magic, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, what do you think? Okay, think about it like this. In your opinion, what do you find more personally believable? The fact that a creature can biologically evolve from a dog to a half man, half dog, like bipedal dog, or the fact that someone's actually using mystical shit to turn into this thing, and that's what's going on.
I find mystical stuff to be far more plausible, because there are so many things that you can't explain. People bending spoons with their mind, that sort of thing. The lust for power is an innate human desire. Almost everyone has it. Almost anybody that obtains power becomes corrupt. A lot of people gain power by being corrupt, and they know how they rose to power. And then they know that once they're in power, that everybody under them is doing the same thing to try and get it for themselves. And it makes a lot of people go crazy. Like, they generally develop mental illness because of it, because of the immense paranoia, the pressures that come with that position and whatnot. Like, it damages people. Absolutely does. You get a narcissist that's going to do anything and won't stop, and then realizes that everyone else is doing the same thing to him. And if you find a way to cheat the system, and this would go into a conversation that I don't know if you remember that you and I had about why would somebody want to be a Satanist? Why would somebody want to bat for that team? It's like, because it's a cheat code for life. They get money, they get power, they get fame, or whatever it is. The short-term gain for the long-term sacrifice. And I think that human nature, people are greedy, and they find that cheat code, someone's going to use it regardless of the consequences. And sometimes you could see that going completely wrong, or we can also misjudge what their motives really were. Was it somebody that just wanted to see how far the rabbit hole goes? How far down does it really go? Did we ever find the limit there? And did it get more and more corrupted the further they went down this path?
Damn, Stephen, I think you got a pretty good mind for these topics, man.
Let's say you come at it with a better common sense than a lot of people do. Honestly, they'll come at it, it's either my way or the highway, or I don't believe in none of it, type thing.
Or they'll say shit like this. They'll be like, well, the Bigfoot was actually the Nephilim mentioned in the Bible. In the first book of Genesis, chapter 6, the Bible talks about the giants of the earth who were descended from angels who slept with women. But then those giants slept with the women, but then their offspring, they were these giants among men. And they were Bigfoot. They were Bigfoot.
And I hear so many stories about, well, they found these giant skeletons and somebody came and collected it and took it away, and we never saw it again. And part of all encompassing in my mind, we can argue about religion endlessly. And we can argue that the Bible is a literal word of God. We can argue that it was meant to be like a collection of fables or stories that guide your humanity. They're not necessarily literal, or who chose what books go in this version of the Bible. We hear about those lost books and what was really.
You got to ask Jason about all that. He's the expert on that.
And we have this King James Bible, and who was King James to decide what went in the Bible and what happened to the other books, and why are they forbidden, and
or how it was interpreted
if
from
they're
the original.
finding
Yeah.
if they're finding giant skeletons, what's the truth behind that, and why is someone or the government suppressing that truth? Why don't we know? Hey, we found this. There are people that are going to argue that dinosaurs aren't real and they're not in the Bible, so they're not real. And like we found all of these skeletons. Where the devil put those there. Devil made dinosaurs.
And you're quoting exactly from the monkey trials, really. At that time, when that stuff happened, where the guy was being sued because he was teaching evolution in schools, and they were literally doing that exact argument.
Or didn't they burn
Bible didn't
people
say
at
it, so they didn't
stake
exist.
for saying that the Earth went around the sun instead of the other way around?
Yeah.
And how we discover things all the time. One of the things I'm really good at in my own mind is accepting things. Like, I understand that if I push this button, this reaction happens, and I don't necessarily need to know why. Computer programming is one of those things for me. Like, I don't understand programming, but I understand that if I push this button, that happens. And I understand the hardware side of it, but I don't understand the software side of it because I don't know it intimately, and I don't
wish
know it.
I did though. Sometimes, like AI seems like magic to me. I'm like, how
So
did they
I
figure
can
out a
believe
program to do this?
I can believe
Coding
certain
sucks.
things, and I've taught things, and I feel innately about certain things, beliefs that I hold that I couldn't necessarily prove. I do keep an open mind. I kind of is it Scott Adams, who was the creator of Dilbert, passed recently.
Yeah, he just passed last week, I think.
And I read his last note that got released after he passed, and he talked about finally accepting Jesus and how it was a can't lose proposition. It's like, man, I don't think that that's necessarily the way you want to present that. I don't know
he's cosmic life insurance, basically.
Bingo. And me, I'm more like, that's something that you feel and hear, whether you can prove that he existed or not. Let's take that away from it. But I feel in here that that's a real thing. That's how I feel. And I can accept that other people don't feel that way. But presenting it as cosmic life insurance seems very wrong about it. In my mind, like, I don't feel that way in my heart, and I don't think that that's the right way to present it. Like, I've accepted Jesus because it's the safe thing to do. You either feel it or know it inside yourself, or you don't.
Well, and I hate to say it like this because I'm a big Secondhand Lions fan. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. And the first words out of the guy's mouth, Robert Duvall's mouth, when he's giving the kid the "what every boy needs to know to be a man" speech type thing, that just because something ain't true don't mean you can't believe in it.
There's a lot of people that convince themselves of things that aren't real all the time.
Oh, I'm still convinced on Santa Claus. I don't care what nobody says.
Or how powerful.
Can I tell you guys what I'm convinced of? Honestly, between us personally, I'm convinced I actually met Jesus once in a dream. Once.
Okay.
You can.
So I remember this dream pretty well. I start off going over, like, I'm climbing these rocks. I reach the top, and I'm overlooking this battlefield, this endless battlefield of just like numerous black things and numerous white things, right? Like into millions, but they were like very small and indistinct because it was from very far away and the lighting was all weird. And I'm looking over this battlefield, and I look to my right, and there he is. It's Jesus. And I'm like, I know right away it's him. Interestingly enough, he was like 30 feet tall. Like, I barely went halfway up to his knee. So I was like, damn, this dude's big, right?
And you sound like Oral Roberts now.
So Jesus is kind of looking over the battlefield, and he looks down at me, and he looks kind of annoyed, like I'm late. And so he points. He doesn't even say a word. He just points in a direction. He's like over there, and I look over there, and in the front lines, there's like this opening where the black ones are winning, and they're like spilling in. It's like they're fighting over like a gap in the front line, right?
Yeah.
It kind of points over there, and I'm like, okay, I know what I gotta do. I jump in the air like really high, like like I'm up in the air. In
Mhm.
midair, I turn into the Incredible fucking Hulk, and I land right in that gap, and I'm tearing up all the black ones.
Dude, I want some of what you're smoking on that one.
That show's pretty cool.
Randy and I have the psychic
Yeah.
link working again.
Exactly. I want some of that.
Jesus was like, "You're late to the battle, dude." And now I'm annoyed. That's the only time I met him.
I have to admit that I haven't watched every show that Donnie has made, but I've watched a few of them. And one of the ones I liked the best was when Donnie talked about the teenager that suicided and how.
Oh, the Ouija board experience? Oh yeah.
Not that one. No, the one at the people's house that had the parties.
Oh, the hummingbird story. Yes.
Because the hummingbird story. Because I had actually been there, not with Donnie.
Oh yeah, you were there.
But I went there, and and that story was very vivid to me because we had been at the same place and seen the same things, and that was a wild story, and I really liked it because it just made a nice ending to a traumatic situation.
Yeah, I was just ashamed I couldn't tell the parents about it. I wish I could, but that would have been weird.
That was
anyway.
That was a great story.
It's 11 o'clock, and I think this has been pretty cool, man. It's cool. It's nice to hear the point of view of someone who's new to this field, and not someone who's like a fucking know-it-all about like Bigfoot or Dogman.
And what's interesting is the last thing that I had in my notes that I made for this conversation was Skinwalker, was Bigfoot.
Oh, by the way, was there anything in your notes that you wanted to hit? Did we miss anything? Steven, but for the people listening at home, Steven's actually been preparing questions because he's actually curious about the topic.
I'm very curious of it. And, I wanted to say, convince me of this belief, but I think that we should do that another episode of, provide some evidence to support the existence of these creatures that's kind of a big one that I think that could even be its own episode. And where's the paranormal link, and how do UFOs and aliens tie into this too? Because for me, it's that genre of show that these are common topics. And why are they all tied together the way that they are? Is it a cultural thing that's just what attracts our attention, or what?
Okay, so
speaking of shows,
guys, yeah, I was about to say with that, guys, I think we need to move towards the conclusion of the show. However, before we even go there, I think Randy's got something he would like to share with y'all listening.
Yeah, exactly. Me and Jason have been talking, and we are sitting there.
Jason McLean.
Jason McLean. Serial papers, the old Jason McLean questions, everything. And a lot of times here with Donnie, we've sat there and talked. Since you're going to be kind of out next week, we're launching a new show. We are going to sit here and talk about cryptids and such, and he's going to come with his philosophical, theological, and biblical aspect of it, and I'm coming with my more scientific side and such. And we're going to start a show starting next week, and we're going to do our own little takes on all these little things. And you're all more than welcome to join us. But Donnie,
and so Randy, what is the name of the show?
The heck was the name of the show? Hang on, I'll tell you in a second. Kind of moment. That's German. That means give me a second. What was the name of the show? I don't remember now.
It was Cryptid Talk.
Cryptid Talk. That was it. God.
No, well, I mean, the reason why Randy doesn't know is because Cryptid Talk is actually a placeholder word. They
Yeah,
haven't really decided on it, so we just picked a random generic like Cryptid Talk.
and that's what we're going with. And
I'm
because
pretty sure there's already a channel out there called Cryptid Talk. So believe
most
me,
likely,
that's
yeah.
not the name they're going to land on. They just haven't thought of one yet.
No.
So for those of you who are wondering, so Randy and Jason, they're going to start their pilot episode on my channel same time next week.
Yep.
Because I actually that weekend I have to go visit my brother, so I'm not going to be around. And Randy and Jason, they're still figuring out the whole StreamYard, like which channel and how we're going to set
How we
that
want to
up.
do it, yeah.
So they just want to do like a pilot, I guess,
Next
kind of
week.
like like a trial episode next week on my show. And I guess Cryptid Talk with Jason and Randy.
Yeah, we'll start it with that. See how it goes. I mean,
Have you
obviously,
thought
we're going to
about a
come.
name? Have you thought about a cool name?
All I've thought about is sleet. That's all I've thought about this last 2 days. So, sleet and more sleet.
Okay, anyway, so before we end, I'm going to start this new thing, guys, where when I end every episode, I'm going to have my guests react to some K-pop. And this is fitting because I feel like, Steven, tonight, I feel like your mind's been very opened up. We've been talking, he didn't even know about like fairies. He didn't know about no fucking fairies or Dogman or like skinwalkers or nothing. So,
My
I
wife
feel
bought
like
me my whoopee.
I feel like Steven, your mind is all like wide open now. We're all lubed up. Let's slide something a little bigger in. How about that?
No.
Run, Steven, run, just like Nemo.
So for those of you and for Steven, I'm going to have you check out this recent fucking nuclear bomb that K-pop just dropped. And oh boy, gentlemen. Oh fucking boy. This one's a
I'm
doozy.
scared. I got my whoopee, so I'm good.
Are you guys ready for this?
No, but you're going to do it anyway.
Okay, so this is called Spaghetti. It's a K-pop song about spaghetti.
I had spaghetti.
Done by a K-pop girl group. They're called Le Seraphim. Le Seraphim is known in the K-pop industry as having, let's just say, the most unhinged videos. Their videos get unhinged, admittedly. And we're going to watch it. And you guys, and because Steven, your mind's all now open, let's see what you think. Are you guys
wait
ready?
a second. Time out. Now, is this gonna make me think of the Juicy Girls in Korea?
Well, let's find out. You watch this, Randy.
All right, here we go.
The song is called Spaghetti.
I got my whoopee.
Let me just make sure the captions are. Subtitles on. Okay, here we go.
Oh God, she's scary.
Pizza, spaghetti.
What is that weird drag queen doing there?
I have no earthly idea.
This doesn't make any sense.
K-pop.
Who are these people? Who's that random white dude? Oh my God! What the fuck is that? A fucking fire truck that's all pink?
That's a gut truck.
She's just cooking and shit. They're in a fucking food truck. They're serving up that fabulousness, that K-pop fabulousness. Yeah, you eat that shit down. Okay, I gotta explain the wordplay here for people who don't know. Okay, so the way people in Korea,
you know, nobody likes it because you keep interrupting the song. We want to hear.
no,
the
I'm
song.
supposed to. I gotta explain a little background here so people
Well,
know.
What is this? A reaction video or what? Come on. Now.
So the way in Korea people tell each other to go fuck themselves, they say chomogo, which is actually, if you translate it out, it's like you fucking eat it, like eat it down or suck it down, right? The thing about this song is, even though they're singing about spaghetti, the way they're saying it is like they're basically saying go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they're giving you a crotch chop. Is what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fucking La Seraphim. Breathe it in, gentlemen. And the way they're eating the spaghetti, it's so gross. That's the other thing. They actually turned vomiting into a dance move. Oh shit, gentlemen. Hold on. We gotta brace ourselves. They got the motherfucker to land in the middle of this fucking video and drop a verse. None other than fucking J-Hope of BTS. Holy fucking shit, gentlemen.
Like I know who the hell that is.
BTS. Holy shit. It's like if you're watching like a Batman movie, and in the middle of the movie, bam, out comes Thanos. You're like, Thanos, you don't belong here. J-Hope of BTS. The motherfucker of K-pop dudes.
Eat it up, eat it up. Yeah, this is the sweet spot. Head up, the sin is the big shot.
Holy shit, there he is, gentlemen. J-Hope. Other fucking J-Hope. This dude's legendary. This guy's a K-pop genius.
Hey, at least he did his military duty.
Talk about eating. This motherfucker is eating spaghetti with chopsticks. That's gangster. That's Asian as fuck, gentlemen.
Yeah, this is a hot spot. Don't give a fuck, nigga, 모노톤. 씹어보셔 마시죠, 필요 없어, 3-star.
말로만 hate it. 어디 가서 너의 diet.
난 몰래 색하는 enemy. You better start.
They're serving up that spaghetti in the food trucks. Yeah, they're just chucking it at them. They're like, fuck you. You eat my spaghetti, goddammit. And you like it. Don't give a fuck. Look at that old ass white dude just sitting there all awkwardly, all scared. Yeah, he doesn't understand this. He's not ready. That motherfucker got blasted with the K-pop.
Money soaking seraphim. Bad bitch in between your teeth. 그냥 포기해 어차피. Eat it up, eat it, eat it up. Eat it up, eat it, eat it, eat it up.
Look at that girl vomiting in the background. They actually turned vomiting into an actual dance. Who would think that? And now their heads are exploding into the spaghetti.
I think
God
Dolly
damn
Parton
it.
would kick their ass.
God damn it. So,
I think Dolly.
Yes,
I think
what
Pink
do you-
would definitely
what-
kick their ass.
what do you
Dolly
gentlemen
Parton would
think?
come close.
What do you
Oh,
think?
80-year-old Dolly Parton would kick their ass.
I will believe in Dogman. I will believe in cryptids and skinwalkers, but I can't believe that somebody thought that this shit was a good idea.
Thank you.
Damn. That was cold.
Oh, Pink does not suck. Bays, we're gonna have a serious talk now.
Yes,
Pink
Bigfoot
does
Fidesz
not
is
suck.
K-pop for life.
That's because you
Bigfoot
got her
Fidesz
brainwashed. Because I'm telling you right now, Pink does not suck.
Didn't hate the Italians? Yes, they do, Nemovir.
Where are my 10 years people at?
They are dirt to us. They are scum. Those,
They ain't no
those meatball rolling motherfuckers.
Lord have mercy.
Those marinara having dudes.
I need to go
With
conjure up
canal.
Adam West back from the grave so he can come kick your ass.
Canals. Fucking rowing their boats everywhere in those fucking canals. Go fuck them.
Lord
With
have
their
mercy.
little black twirly mustaches.
Think I'm gonna throw up somewhere.
Always got to
No.
put Parmesan cheese on everything. Fuck them.
Thank you, everybody, for having
Yeah.
me. I had a great time. Except for
And now
that
your
last
brain is
part.
jello from having to listen to that.
Except for that last part.
Yeah.
What was that?
You know what else is fucking stupid? Lasagna. Hey, let's just make one giant big noodle. Let's not bother cutting it. Because
Hey,
we're too
hey, don't be talking bad about lasagna, okay? That's some good stuff right there. As long as you don't put a whole bunch of ricotta in it, you're good.
Anyway. All right, I think we'll sign out with that. I think it's 11:15, so let's go. Let's get out of here. All right, folks.
Man, we went
Tune in
long.
next week for the debut episode of Randy and Jason's new Cryptid Talk show.
Cryptid Talk.
For now, I guess it's Cryptid Talk with Jason and Randy.
Sure.
They settle upon
Sounds
a
good to me.
name. All right, peace.
He never got no cryptid action. He doesn't know if those stories got traction. But tonight our boy Steven is about to learn. Popping that cherry, it's gonna be his turn. Cause we're popping that cherry, that Cryptid Cherry. Steven's about to learn about all things hairy. We're popping that cherry, that Cryptid Cherry. Bigfoot Dogman, hoping it ain't too scary. Bigfoot Dogman, there's a first time for everything. Donny and Randy teaching about that hairy thing. Steven's cryptid radar will no longer be off. Time for him to drop those pants, turn his head and cough. Cause we're coughing that cherry, that Cryptid Cherry. Steven's about to learn about all things hairy. We're popping that cherry, that Cryptid Cherry. Bigfoot Dogman, hoping it ain't too scary. If you're new to this, bend over and open wide. Don't you worry, you most likely will not die.